Hello everyone, Pastor Howie here. Another edition of Readings and Thoughts from the Scriptures in Acts chapter 25, following the last few chapters of the book of Acts and Paul's journey, not entirely on his own, but by the providence of God, to Rome. We find him in Acts chapter 25, still in Caesarea. He was there for the first time under a governor named Felix, who wasn't particularly a great guy. But after 2 years of being in custody under Felix, and Felix kind of accepting, wanting to see if there would be bribes brought his way, he is succeeded by Festus, another governor. And as we come to Acts chapter 25, verses 13 through 22, we are introduced to King Agrippa. Festus consults King Agrippa concerning Paul's case before sending him on to Rome. So I looked up Agrippa because I had in my mind the memory that there's something about Agrippa that is surprising. And so I want to share that with you. It comes from the blueletterbible.com commentary by David Guzik. And this is what this commentary says. It begins by quoting verse 13, and after some days, King Agrippa and Bernice came to Caesarea to greet Festus. When they had been there many days, Festus laid Paul's case before the king. Who's King Agrippa? Who is Bernice? Herod Agrippa II ruled a client kingdom of the Roman Empire to the northeast of Festus province. This is King Agrippa. Herod Agrippa. Agrippa was known as an expert in Jewish customs and religious matters. Though he did not have jurisdiction over Paul in this case, his hearing of the matter would be helpful for Festus. Now here's 3 things about King Herod Agrippa. Number 1, of this King Agrippa, his great-grandfather had tried to kill Jesus as a baby. His grandfather had John the Baptist beheaded. His father had martyred the first apostle, James. Now Paul stood before the next in line of the Herods, Herod Agrippa. Bernice. Bernice was Agrippa's sister. Secular history records rumors that their relationship was incestuous. The Herods weren't a great family to be around. Herod Agrippa II didn't rule over much territory, but he was of great influence because the emperor gave him the right to oversee the affairs of the temple in Jerusalem and the appointment of the high priest. This is who Paul's standing before in Acts 25, verses 13 through 22. So let me read verses 13 and 14 again in the NIV, and we'll read through the rest of the passage. A few days later, King Agrippa and Bernice arrived at Caesarea to pay their respects to Festus, new in his position. Since they were spending many days there, Festus discussed Paul's case with the king. He said, "There is a man here whom Felix left as a prisoner. When I went to Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews brought charges against him and asked that he be condemned." Now, I will also say to you that going back to that study guide in blueletterbible.com, Festus is mentioned as a pretty decent and fair-minded governor. And so Festus is doing the decent and fair-minded thing. He's consulting Agrippa, but he's not the same kind of person as Agrippa. Anyway, here we go, verse 16. I told them that it is not the Roman custom to hand over anyone before they have faced their accusers, and have had an opportunity to defend themselves against the charges. When they came here with me, I did not delay the case, but convened the court the next day and ordered the man to be brought in. When his accusers got up to speak, they did not charge him with any of the crimes I had expected. Instead, they had some points of dispute with him about their own religion and about a dead man named Jesus who Paul claimed was alive. This is getting a reflection on what Festus understood at this point. I was at a loss how to investigate such matters, so I asked if he would be willing to go to Jerusalem and stand trial there on these charges. But when Paul made his appeal to be held over for the emperor's decision, I ordered him held until I could send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said to Festus, I would like to hear this man myself. He replied, tomorrow you will hear him. And in our next video, we will look at that passage of Scripture where Paul testifies before King Herod Agrippa II. Until then, may we trust the Lord despite the rulers in our nations, for they are but men. Some are good, some are not good. There's corruption all around us, but there is no corruption in this Jesus who died, was buried, rose again, and is coming again. May God bless you. Till next time.